be invalidated. So yeah,
okay.
that's
So Mickey, I have the
Mickey. I know you're not American. I know you're not American, but there's no I in my name.
Yeah.
It's Mekey. Just
Yeah, it was just real quick. So AI, you referenced this 2-year thing. So that was for naturalization. It's from the Naturalization Act of 1790, and then it became 5 years in 1795. But it did not change the birth rule. So that did not speak to that at all. If you could have been 2 Italians, and if you had a child in the U.S., that child would be a U.S. citizen. So that Naturalization Act did not speak to children at all. So even before the 14th Amendment, if you were from Europe and you ended up having a child in here, your child would be a U.S. citizen.
Okay, so CEO, let me ask you this. Where was that in the Constitution prior to the Naturalization Act? It wasn't. So the Naturalization Act officially established
English common law.
Exactly. So the Naturalization Act officially established what an American is and who can be an American. Prior to that, yes, it was just interpreted how it was. That's why I said in 1790, it clearly states who and how and when and what you can become an American. What an American is.
No, it didn't.
So,
it talked about the process for people coming into the country. It didn't speak to people born in the country. You're conflating the two ideas together.
But see, everybody was coming into the country at that point. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
But people visited still. People visited. You still have to be visiting.
But CEO, you got to remember, right? When the country was established with the colonies, once we became the official United States, right? We had borders and we had boundaries. People started to come from Europe. When you came from Europe, we had a process for you to actually become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, and if you were non-white, you weren't even in the conversation.
All right. Can we get back to this big beautiful bill now? Are we done with the 14th Amendment? That was a good time, man. That was actually a good time.
I just want to make one last statement. And for the people that's from the U.S. Virgin Islands, we bought and paid for you guys with our tax dollars. So you're American citizens.
I just want to say this too. Trump, this is what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to issue an executive order or push for federal regulations that reinterprets the 14th Amendment. All right, because he wanted basically to say children born to non-citizens or undocumented immigrants are not automatically U.S. citizens. Right? So he's basically trying to force a legal challenge, likely under that Supreme Court to revisit or overturn the wrong King Art. And people bring this case up, but they never bring up the important piece in this case, which is the Chinese Exclusionary Act. Right? They was being discriminated against based off that act. So that was a big part of this case. They only bring this up to try to say, oh, it was they already made amendments to it during this time. Due to that, it's kind of.
But Lou,